Hello and welcome. Today we're going to tackle a really big question, one that comes up all the time. Is Mandarin Chinese really as difficult as everyone says? We're going to unpack a whole new way of thinking about what makes a language hard and show you how to make the journey a whole lot easier.
You've probably heard the official rankings. Mandarin is what they call a level 5 language. Now, what that means is that for an English speaker, it's supposed to take about 3 times longer to learn than something like Spanish. But I have to ask, does it really have to be that way? Let's find out. All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start by taking apart this hard language myth. Then we'll dive into a much smarter way to learn. After that, we'll uncover what is truly the single most important factor for success. And to wrap it all up, we'll chart a clear path for you to get to fluency. So, first things first, let's really look at why Chinese has this reputation for being, for being almost impossible. What are the things that everyone points to? The usual suspects are pretty well known, right? You've got tones, where just changing the pitch of your voice can completely change a word's meaning. You've got the writing system, with thousands and thousands of characters to memorize. Oh, and the grammar. It can feel totally backwards if you're coming from English. And yes, these are definitely real challenges. All of those things we just mentioned, the tones, the characters, the grammar, they all fall under one big umbrella. Let's call it factor number 1, the language itself. These are simply the built-in features of Chinese that are different from English. But, and this is important, this is only a tiny part of the story. Now take a look at this. This is where things get really interesting. See that small slice? That represents the language itself, all those tricky things we just talked about. As you can see, it's actually the smallest piece of the entire puzzle. There are 2 other factors that are way more important when it comes to your success. So let's move on to that second, much bigger piece of the pie. This factor is all about how you learn. It's about the methods, the tools, and the strategies you use. In short, it's about your approach. On the one hand, you have the traditional method. Writing characters over and over and over again. Memorizing grammar rules from a textbook. It's boring, right? It's demotivating. And frankly, it's super inefficient. But on the other hand, there's a smarter way, based on how our brains actually work. It's about understanding, not just memorizing. So what does the smarter method look like? Well, it's basically a 3-step process. First, you surround yourself with Chinese you can actually understand. Think simple stories, shows, and podcasts. Second, you use powerful memory tricks, like a memory palace, to make characters stick. And third, you use smart tech, like digital flashcards, to review things right before you're about to forget them. This completely flips the script and makes the hard parts fun. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It shows you the incredible power of using the right method. What normally takes people years of painful, tedious work can actually be done in a few months with nearly perfect memory. It's not about putting in more hours. It's about making those hours count. And now our model is starting to take shape. You can see that your approach, how effective and, how fun your learning method is a much bigger deal than the language itself. This changes everything. But we're not done. There's still one missing piece of the puzzle, and guess what? It's the biggest one of all. Even if you have the best methods in the world, there's a third factor that can make or break everything. And that final factor is you. You know, the person who developed this framework tells a really honest story. He found all these amazing methods, but then life happened. A business, a family, and Chinese got pushed to the side. So even with the perfect system in place, the language started to feel hard all over again because the personal foundation wasn't solid. So what parts of you are we talking about? Well, it really boils down to these key areas. It's about your habits. Can you show up consistently? Your mindset. Can you stay positive? Your health. Are you taking care of yourself? It's about belief, patience, and maybe most of all, your ego. Can you laugh at yourself when you make a mistake? And here it is, the complete picture. That tiny little slice is the language. The medium slice is your method. But look at that huge, massive piece of the pie. That's you, your habits, your mindset, your health, your discipline. You are by far the biggest factor in how easy or difficult this journey is going to be. Okay, so now that we have this new framework, this new way of looking at things, what do we do with it? How does this actually help you right now on your path to learning Chinese?
This chart really lays it all out for us. Your action plan is crystal clear. For the language itself, acknowledge the tricky parts, sure, but don't be scared of them. For your approach, take the time to find methods that are efficient, science-backed, and fun. And for you, this is where you put most of your energy, into building good habits, a positive mindset, and taking care of your health.
And this brings us to the final and maybe the most important shift in thinking. Can you stop focusing so much on some imaginary finish line and instead learn to enjoy the day-to-day process? Because when you do that, the whole experience changes from a grueling marathon into something you actually look forward to. So in the end, when you embrace this way of thinking, learning a quote-unquote hard language like Chinese becomes something totally different. It stops being this giant obstacle you have to conquer. And instead, it becomes this incredible opportunity for you to grow as a person. The journey of learning the language really becomes a journey of improving yourself.